4 Oblivion carriers orbited the massive Clouder Station, Twain. Lines of freighters entering from the 3 rift gates were redirected away from the designated space for the Mariposa into the other 3 spheres. A Twain News Network ship was stationed beside her, continuously filming her for the Clouder newsfeed. Barasha stood on the outer deck, suited up in void gear. Barasha in the field here in the 4th cycle of the Mariposa feeding. The 4-legged grazer walked to the edge of her ship, pointing at the massive ship. Note the gentle nature of her tendrils. In the distance, backlit from the multitude of lights from the Twain, the Mariposa slowly snaked a long, segmented coil around a derelict freighter. She pulled it toward her mouth like cargo hold where a mass of spindly arms pulled it inside. As you can see, her mouth is developing well. She has grown capable of taking in and processing these retired ships, supplied from the Margot Trading Corporation. Barasha looked over at the Gallic cluster holding the camera and lighting gear. We here at the Twain would like to thank our friends over at Margot Prime and their continual supply runs of crystal for our AI residents. Margot Trading, high-end developers for all your processing needs. Barasha smiled, widening her vertical mouth. We have had requests from across the connected worlds for more detailed information on this new engineered life form in our midst. I have a guest about to be hologrammed in. He is known amongst all the species. His works have resulted in at least 2 Clouder species' existence that we know of. He is the owner of the Twain Zoo, and he is proud partner with my people in developing over 200 agricultural crops. I would like to welcome my friend and one of the lead developers on the LifeShip project, the Preserver. Next to Barasha, in the vacuum of space, a yellow hologram appeared. It showed him from the torso up, his 3 hands and 3-eyed head clearly visible. Hello, Preserver! Welcome to the show. The Preserver focused all 3 eyes on the holocamera. Thank you for having me. I am already honored with your words. She nodded. You are welcomed. I would like to dive into what you know about this ship behind us. Can you tell us what it is doing? The Preserver's hologram looked over at the Mariposa. It is thriving. It has reached self-sufficiency already, quicker than we predicted. Note how it is ripping apart that ship there in its mouth. Barasha highlighted the mentioned part with a holographic triangle. I see it. What are we looking at? He pointed with 2 of his hands. If you zoom in, you can make out a legion of moving creatures. You see them? Barasha nodded. Those are her answer to the AI box spiders. Barasha shrunk down a bit. Box spiders. The Black World ripping creatures? She is making her own? The Preserver focused again on the camera. Oh yes, but nothing in number or capability as, say, Curator, or the Totem have access to. Hers are organic, slowed in production. Can you zoom in further? Barasha nodded at the Gallic. They upped the camera's stabilization and zoomed in. The Preserver pointed at 3 different creatures in her mouth, 1 with each hand. See, look. The group didn't design these. We gave her the codex to create her own designs to fit her needs. See how these 3 organisms are shaped different? One is more traditional, 8 legs, 1 on each corner of the box. Those are versatile, space-capable. They are genius design, able to do many functions but not as focused as these other 2. He shifted his focus to the other 2 creatures the camera was zoomed in on. These 2 are 6-legged. One has all 6 aimed down. It is fixed for work inside her, made to work on a singular plane at a time. It is a focused creature. Without looking closer, I couldn't tell you exactly what it does, but it is good to see her playing with design already. It shows she is adapting. Barasha pointed at the 3rd. What of that one? It's standing like me. Oh, yes. 4 legs on bottom, 2 larger arms up top with a bifocal eye set. You can see there are significantly fewer of those. I would say they are watching, maybe even guarding her entrance there. Barasha looked into the camera. You think she has militarized creatures in there? The Preserver nodded. I hope so. We, the developers, debated on this for a significant amount of time. I fully intended her to have the full scope of military capabilities that we have here in the Clouder. Others debated having a ship dedicated to spreading life to new worlds, having the means to kill. But I made my point well. You think she should be weaponized? He bobbed. She is weaponized. Each of our races have a history meeting new species, and most have been a conflict. If she is going to be at the edges of known space, she will meet new species. We all know the law of the universe. Barasha nodded. The universe doesn't care. The Preserver bobbed. The universe will eat you. Yes. So we came to agreement. We will not deny her tooth and claw. Her new growth as seen on her hull has substantial armaments. Barasha looked. Yes. Is that a kinetic cannon there? She said, pointing. Oh yes, one of many, I'm betting. I wouldn't doubt her growing several more in that hump on her back. How long do you think she will stay before her first mission? She asked. I heard they will be putting out work orders within the cycle, Barasha. Anyone watching who meets the requirements and wants to be a part of this expedition should be getting their resumes ready. They will start crewing shortly. Barasha nodded at the camera. Interesting. Has a captain been decided? Oh yes. Captain Sam Clemens is already aboard helping her prep. Amazing. Our lead founder and station developer, project lead, will be taking on the captain role. And you said that work orders will be out by the end of today? The preserver bobbed. Yes, and all are welcome to apply. Sam sat at the head of the white table, a custom bone growth made specifically for the meeting room. He waved his hand, and Mariposa spread open the door to the room, allowing 3 hagfish to enter. Each carried a squishy in their face tentacles. They walked over to the proffered bench, curling onto the seat. After getting comfortable, each in turn sat their squishy into their laps, stroking them with their tail tendrils. Sam watched, smiling. Pets? The hagfish nearest him bobbed its head. Yes, we have taken to them. We have found they need our constant protection and are worthy of it. Squishies? The leader bobbed its head. A variation, yes. It hissed. They are smart, watchful. We have experimented with their capabilities, and they tend the stupider herds. We have a herd in our habitat that has grown significantly under their watch. They are not skittish of us and are quite enjoyable to touch. You don't eat them? Sam asked. No, they do not meet our dietary requirements. Too many sugars, not enough lipids and aminos. Sam nodded. Very well. You 3 have filled out a resume together? He looked down at his wrist HUD. Says you wish to apply for the lead security position. The 3 bobbed their heads in unison. Sam nodded, biting his upper lip. You're not a very militarized race. I didn't expect any of your people to be applying for a security role. Why the interest? The leader looked at the other 2 with his eye stalks. They nodded, and then it looked back at Sam. We are not overtly military like the Craddock, Scribblers, or even you humans. Within the Great Arm, we were the Watchers for the Watchers. The hidden eyes, if you will. Security doesn't just depend on might, but on sight as well. We think the lead security position should be the eyes for the meat to follow. Sam chuckled. Makes sense. Mariposa has eyes all over her body. Do you really think she will need yours as well? If she didn't, why hire for such a position? That is a foolish question. Sam nodded. Maybe. But I don't know how well suited your people would be for this. He looked back over their resume, reading. Oh, wow. Wow, you straight up say this? He looked up at them. I should have read all the way through. So you and the Dalaki assassins work together. You have assigned them tasks routinely for several decades now. Here in the Clouder. He stared at them. The leader nodded its pale head. Of course. They volunteer their blades for us, as is their way. We wish to put those blades to your use as well. You've actively had assassins working within Clouder space, serving your own purposes, and admit it. That is, wow. That is a dangerous thing to admit. You can be arrested for this. Sam shifted in his seat. The hagfish leader patted its squishy, watching Sam. We are aware. We are willing to confess to all our shadow work. You have gained the full favor of the Aralang. You have made his dream your own. You have made our dream your own. We serve you. We offer you our eyes and blades. Anything you wish to know or do to us is yours. You wish to bring Dalaki with you? Sam asked. They are hovering in reach of this ship, waiting as we speak. Give permission and they will gladly board, it replied. Sam leaned back. Mariposa, Curator, what do you 2 think? The orbs in the wall, fixed on the 3 hagfish, pivoted toward Sam. Their dietary requirements could easily be met from one of my nutrient currents. I could rig up rooms with outlets for them, she said aloud through the walls. Sam shook his head. No, I mean, do you trust them? Curator replied over the comm. They are member species of the Clouder. You have let them live on the Twain for quite a while now. You forgiven them yet for their abuse of you? Sam shook his head. Not entirely. He stared at the 3. Curator, run a deep scan of their habitats and records. I want to know all their doings over the years. Gritty details, and I expect full cooperation. The 3 hagfish bowed their heads. The leader hissed as it raised its head back up. You will have full cooperation. We wish with the wholeness of our length to be a part of this mission. Our lives are yours. Sam stood up. I will go over the documentation when I have it. We will keep you informed. The 3 lifted their squishies up to their head tendrils and raised up. They turned in order and made their way out the opening door. Sam got up and walked over to the cabinet grown in the wall. He opened it up and started pouring himself a drink. Sam walked down the long spinal corridor. He paused, looking up as an upside-down rabbit bounced along the grass-covered bones on the ceiling. He took a drink from his mug. Mariposa, is that a rabbit? Yes, and Clover as well. She replied through the walls. Why is there a rabbit on the ceiling? He asked. There are rabbits throughout my body. They are very efficient meat-producing animals. And Clover, it is a very efficient nitrogen-fixing plant, native to your homeworld. It is also considered lucky by your people. Sam nodded and started walking again. You getting superstitious on me? The walls rippled, issuing a giggling sound. That is funny. No. Superstitions do, however, have their roots in misunderstood phenomenon on your Earth. Clover, considered lucky, is found in healthy biomes. It is a fundamental plant providing mass to your herbivores. Places where it grows, animals flourished. Where animals flourished, humans flourished. Human luck usually revolved around where humans could live easily. Rabbits and clover both are signs of healthy biomes, and I have utilized both here in my body. What else do you find lucky? He laughed, asking. Our next candidates. The ones I'm meeting down in your bowels? Yes, she replied. Why aren't you telling me who they are? I should go over their resumes too. The walls laughed again, causing 2 rabbits to dart along the ceiling. There is no need. They are fully vetted. They just need you to sign off on them. You and Curator both agreed? Curator chimed in on his earcom. It was a quick yes. Sam stepped into the open cyst and started descending into the ship's bowels. Very well, let's see who you 2 picked. Sam stepped out, quickly covering his nose with his hand. Oh wow, the smell is god-awful. Excuse my stench, Mariposa rasped. Sam walked through the corridor, looking down at the stream of biological fluids flowing beside him. How are you making all of this? That is a lot of shit. I am a lot of ship. Sam stopped as he stepped out into the main chamber. Numerous lines were running into a main tank. Curator was walking along an organic circular catwalk with several SFP walking in step beside her. He laughed as he walked up the steps to meet with them. Hey, SFP! He said, patting one on the back. The 4 starfish-like creatures held hands as they hugged him. Sam squished his arms around them. You guys joining the crew? Each of their 5 eyes focused on him. Yes, you have need, we have need. We will join crew. Your ship could use our management of biological repurposement systems. We could use the life space. It is a promising agreement. Sam looked at Curator. I give my consent. Sign them up. Mariposa shivered the upper ceiling, causing tendrils and lumps to shift, creating a moist-sounding voice. I will grow them a nesting chamber as well as 4 dorsal farming beds. I think that should be a good start to a sustainable nutrient cycle. The SFP looked around the room, making contact with the black orbs. We are thankful. We plan to help the Mariposa and Sam on this venture. Thank you each for this opportunity. Sam patted the one nearest on its back. I thank you. Your people are the backbone of the Clouder. Having you with us would be good luck. He looked up at one of Mariposa's eyes and winked. Curator tapped Sam's wrist. I got you the data on the hagfish. I need you to go over it before your rest cycle. Also, I have a flock of Fuimos lined up for communications and navigation. They are vetted but need you to meet with them. After your rest, I have appointments with several in Finnegan, Galak, a grazer herd, a pod of air, an ocean grower family, a Kawaru clan, and the Rima de Kali wishes to speak to you. Sam shut his eyes briefly. Shit, that is a busy day. Busy but necessary, the android replied. Sam looked through the files on his wrist. Tell you what, I'll see the Rima tomorrow, but I want the others postponed and the HR candidates pushed forward. I'll meet with the Vitalian princess first. They're pretty good at dealing with peoples. I could use a team to process all these applicants. Curator stared at him. Firstly, she's a queen. Secondly, they're smart but also pretty vicious. Curator slowly blinked. Wow. Stubborn did apply for the HR spot. Yeah, sure, I'll move her up. She laughed. Good luck with that. I think the scribblers would be better going over applications, though. Sam smiled. Maybe, but I doubt their emotional aptitude. Curator nodded, pointing at him. Good point. She may have that. I'll put her on the calendar then. Sam looked over and patted the SFP again. Glad to have you all aboard. I'm sure Mariposa will get you some red lines grown up quick enough. I'll work on getting a security detail going to escort you guys back and forth. Mariposa spoke again through the ceiling. I should have the rooms complete in a couple cycles. I have a small habitat ready if you need a place to rest currently. The SFP looked around the room. We do not need rest yet. We would like to start analysis of your waste. Chemistry is needed for us to prepare supplements for you. We also need your dietary needs in order to assist in your development. Curator looked at everyone in turn. I'll get the design specs sent to your habitat. They will be console locked, but you can go over them there. The SFP all blinked in unison, bowing their upper arms. We thank you again, Sam. We are encouraged by this venture. Sam returned the bow. I thank you again.